that we are again on the beginning of a new episode of the podcast Corner of Special Education. And today this is actually the first time I'm making a video episode. So we'll see how that works. But we are now at the Isaac Conference 2025 at the Quality Airport Hotel. Yeah. And I am, well, the topic of season 3, I'm now in season 4 of the podcast. The topic of season 3 was AAC. And the topic of season 4 is autism. And yesterday, we are now at the 8th of April. I published 2 episodes where the topic, the episode is combining both autism and AAC. And the topic is the S2C, spell to communicate.
Yeah. Okay. Spelling to communicate. Yeah.
Correct.
They have been here. They had a talk yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I had the privilege of talking to both Elisabeth Vossler and Hilde and Vilde in that regard. But now I am sitting here with the leader of Isaac Norway, and also, and you have to correct me if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, but Martin Pistorius, thank you. First of all, thank you very much to both of you for joining this episode. I know for both of you it's been a very busy day, and I guess you are quite tired. So thank you for taking the time. But let's start with you, Eva. Could you just give a short presentation of yourself, who you are and your role?
I'll try. I have, what can I say? Sorry. I am 52 years old. Been working in the AAC field for, I think, almost 25 years now. My background is a little bit strange. I've studied computer science. And I've also studied, so I have a degree in that. And I've also studied, what do you say in English? Special education?
Yeah, special education.
And some other topics, like smaller topics. But deep down, in 1997, I qualified as a physical therapist.
Correct, okay.
So that's my background. I live in Tønsberg, Vestfold, on a farm. Yes, and I have my own company called Ululas, and my job is to drive around more or less the whole of Norway, but luckily people live around the Oslo fjord, so it's a lot around the Oslo fjord. Yeah, so I drive home to people, and I make sure basically they love their technology, because the crossing, or my small focus area, is when you have what I call sometimes a difficult body, which can be helped by electronic devices. That's where I help and adapt the technology. And a lot of the time it's about AAC, but also welfare technology, like environmental controls, and so that's my. And I also teach at fagskolen i Vestfold og Telemark. And yes, and I do have what I call a hobby job. So because I've never actually worked, or I did work as a physio in the early years, but I'm also really interested in horses. So at the farm where I live, I've been offering a couple of times a week something called therapeutic riding. Yes, okay. So I have, there have been like 50 people coming every week for almost 20 years. But this is like in the evening, couple of evenings. Yes. So, yeah. So I love to work, and but the main thing is really welfare technology and AAC.
Perfect, thank you.
And then I became what you say in English. In Norwegian you say leader, but in English you say I'm the president of the Norwegian chapter of Isaac International.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Martin, I know that you have quite the story, but for those who listen to this podcast and aren't familiar with you, could you give, if it's possible, a presentation? Who are you?
Hello, my name is Martin Pistorius. I'm an international speaker, writer, computer scientist, wheelchair racer, and most importantly, a husband and father. I also happen to use AAC to communicate. I've been using AAC for more than 2 decades, but my journey with communication has been much longer and far more complicated than that. I share more of that story in my book. But at the heart of it, I'm someone who believes in the power of communication, in whatever form it takes.
Perfect, thank you. And you mentioned your book, and the Norwegian title for this is Da jeg var usynlig. And let's see if we can find an international or the
Ghost Boy. Yeah, Ghost Boy.
Ghost Boy. There you go. Okay, excellent. Now, this is we are now closing in on the second day of this conference, and well, I would like to start with you, Martin. What is your experience from these 2 last days?
I think it has been very positive. There have been a mix of topics, and also some slightly new ones, at least from my perspective, because there were discussions about mental health and AAC.
Excellent. And how about you, Eva?
Yeah, it's. I think we had on the social media, it's spoiling now, and it feels like it's spoiling. Yeah, I'm actually overwhelmed. It's the first time we arranged a conference at this hotel. It's been in Sundvolden for many, many years. And I've been kind of waiting for the complaints, where are the problems and people, But so far, so good. And more than 300 participants. And more than, I think, 70 people are actually contributing in different ways. And today we had 5 parallels. And, who are, I think, this is a volunteer work, so I'm really, really proud. And the conference group, they've been working for almost 2 years. And
it's impressive.
Yes, it's impressive. And how, people don't do this anymore. It's all digital, so it's nice for people to come and do the networking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, no, I'm really, really happy.
Can imagine. And before we started the recording, Stina, who I've been in contact with in the preparation, for this recording.
Mm.
I said to her that outside there's a banner sign, meeting point, and I would say that like each conference represent an excellent meeting point for well, AAC for this conference, and to just meet people and share experience. Yeah. So and yes, tomorrow is the last day, correct? Yeah. And what are your expectations for the last day, Eva?
Yeah. My expectations for the last day. I think it's going to be rounded up by Professor Stephen von Tetzschner. I'm looking forward to that. You know, he's been a guru internationally,
Absolutely.
but also in Norway.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm looking forward to the last session. No, I just expect it to roll on. Yeah.
How about you, Martin?
Yes, to add to what Eva said, it is wonderful and really nice to meet in person. You get a richer and deeper experience when you are physically the same place rather than just online.
Absolutely. Like we three are now. Yeah. It's a much richer experience. And you said also before we started the recording that I always have a list of topics, and we are already of that.
I know.
Yeah. But now, if we get back to the talking points, because when I chose AAC as the main topic of the previous season, I wanted to learn more about what AAC is. So the question to both of you, what is AAC to you?
Lots of people have been asking this question at the conference, and yeah. But then I really want to, or my urge is to pass it back, you know. What is speech for you? So, yeah. So what if somebody took away your ability to use your voice now? What, you know, it's the same thing, really. So I think it's everything. Just been to a speech now with Marianne Semner, who's a professional and a mother, and she's really angry. Because if you really believe that this that AAC is actually filling all the functions of speech, you know, something needs to happen. You know, it's terrible. And when I'm out there helping people, and I sometimes need to take away their speaking device to fix it or do something, I feel physically ill because they're sitting there and they can't, you know, we can't talk anymore.
Yeah.
So it's everything, but it's more than everything. And it's even a part of the development for children, because I don't know if you're a dad.
No.
You're not a dad. But you might be one day. I have 3 kids, and well, one of them is almost, well, she's 18 now. But if they didn't have speech, or if they didn't develop speech, you know, I would have had to put in a lot of effort for them to actually develop adequately to the age group, you know? And this is what Marianne just told us. She has a daughter with cerebral palsy, and she went to the psychologist when the daughter was 3 years old, and she was cognitively same as every 3-year-old in Norway. And Marianne said, will this child continue to develop naturally or same speed? And the psychologist said, of course not. If she doesn't speak, you know, how can she? So it kind of affects everything. So if you don't have speech, you actually develop, or you can develop other problems. And also we had this speech with Gabriela from Spain.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
And she was having this speech about emotional competence. And she said that humans, we use language to regulate ourselves, not just people like on the neurodivergent spectrum, but everybody does.
Yeah.
So the feelings are giving or telling us or sending us a message. And if we are able to identify the feeling and label the feeling, it can actually calm us down. You know, if you're frustrated or angry, or because then it gives us almost a solution. What can I do with this feeling? I'm angry. Oh, of course I can do something. So and if you don't have that as an AAC speaker, it's a problem. So you develop anger problems, maybe, you know, rage, because you don't have that. And since you're asking, I just have to. We have this symbol called bliss. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
And that system was not developed because the person who developed it thought it was good for AAC speaking people. He was named Carl Blitz, and he was born in 1897. But that town where he comes from is part of the Western Ukraine today, and it's always been a lot of not riots, you know, wars. Everything's been going out on there. So his thought or his mission in life was to develop a language so that everybody could understand each other, because there were so many languages there. So he thought the wars and all the misunderstandings was because people don't understand each other. So why don't I just develop this symbol-based language? So no more misunderstandings, no more war. So speech, to your question, speech is also, it's also that, and friendship, and, you know, everything.
Yeah, it is everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And what do you think, Martin?
Communication is connection. It's how we show who we are, share ideas, build relationships, express needs, and take part in the world around us. It gives us the power to shape and create the life we want to live. For me, it's not just about words, it's about being seen, being heard, letting the person inside shine. Communication is how I participate in life and shape my place within it.
Perfect, thank you. And that is actually a good, they call it a bridge over to what is the saying or the quote for this conference. I try to give a English translation. I've always spoken, but it's but first now you're listening. Is that quite somewhat accurate? Yeah,
Somewhat.
Somewhat. But what does this mean? You said a little bit around this now, Martin, but could you elaborate? What does this mean to you?
for me to echo what Eva said. It is everything, because before I could communicate, I was there, but it was like there was no difference between me and this table, and as harsh as that sound, that was the reality, and I had lots to say, and things I could and wanted to say. I just needed to think, a way to say it, and someone to listen, to really stop and pay attention, and listen, hearing not only what I say but what I mean. And when that happens, then you get that connection which builds the human experience.
Anything you want to add, Eva?
Yeah, probably. But, yeah, no, it's a really interesting title of the conference, but so I think people can put in different meanings in that title.
Yeah.
But I think, is there a person, does it exist a person in the world who doesn't have, who can't or who doesn't speak, you know? I don't think so, because there is language.
Everyone has a voice.
Yeah, well, there is, you know, different things are going on in your head. And you try to communicate if you have a difficult body. So that's one perspective. You know, I haven't actually read this book, but I'm really looking forward to that. And I can just imagine, you know, for so many years you try to communicate. But also this title, I think, reflects the status of AAC, because in like 2 years ago, in 2023, we had a conference, and it was called "Language is Power," and we had this debate, panel debate, and we were debating whether is AAC language. And I think a lot of things have happened in the 2 years. And now we're talking about not AAC users, but we're talking about AAC speakers, and we really want to have the status. It has to be a language. What else is it? You know, and I understand that people can get confused because Martin is using English.
Yep.
But yeah, because the group is so heterogen, mixed.
Yeah.
So people are using different arguments to the wrong groups. But I think after that conference, people took it more seriously, and now they've actually started to listen more. But we have a long way to go.
And then that's also one of the topics I wanted to discuss in this conversation. But I'm just watching the time. I mean, I have about 10 minutes left. So, but I always, we are not there yet, but I'm always closing a conversation with the 2 regular questions. The first one is what you want the listener to take home from this conversation, and the last one is tip of the day. You have your book, Martin. Is there a web page, video or something? You also have a TED talk. Yeah. So all of these resources that you want to mention, I will make a link to them in the blog posts on the web page, so it's easy for people to find. But when we're talking about AAC, the next conference is in 2 years, and you were talking about the road that lies ahead, and so where do we stand in Norway at this point?
Right-wise, the AAC speakers, they don't really have any rights. They have in the law, they are actually entitled to bring their speaking device to the classroom, for instance. It's like saying that you are entitled to bring your mouth to the classroom, which is kind of, it's good that I actually mention it, but you know, you have to fulfill the sentence, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, we have this really, really good system in Norway. So you are entitled to your speaking device through the national government, which is good. But that doesn't give you a language. It's like the companies, they're really, really good in offering different maler, but it's not a language. It has to be adjusted to the person.
Yeah.
It's because if it's not, it's like me giving my language to you, or you know, my non-developed language to you, and here we go, you can speak like Eva. No, you have to adjust. Yeah. And of course, the main goal for most are to use letters, you know, to write independently whatever they want to say. But in order for a 6-year-old child in Norway to learn how to read and write, you have to give them symbols to communicate first, because how else can they ask questions or, you know, do what every other child in the Norwegian school can when they start in the first grade. So we have so many things. We have so many things to do. So the other kindergarten children, they have the goal to how to hold a pencil, you know, and maybe to find their own letter, and maybe to write their own name even before they start school. Our AAC speakers, children, they sometimes they can't even do the eye gaze if they are able to. You know, they have to start exploring the technology. No, this should have been settled 3 years ago. Yeah. So, yeah, we have so much to do.
Anything you want to add, Martin? No? Okay, perfect. If we imagine that in a 2 years' time, we are sitting here in the same room, where do you think we are in a 2 years' time when it comes to communication and AAC? Martin?
I hope AAC is more widely known, spoken about as naturally as sign language. Not everyone knows how to sign, but most people know it exists and why it matters. AAC should be the same. I hope more educators, health professionals, and families not only understand AAC but actively support and promote its use. And I hope we continue to move toward a culture that expects and values communication in all its forms.
Perfect. Anything you want to add, Eva?
So in 2 years' time, you know, we have this rettighetsplakat. So you've seen it outside, and we have it here, and I'm going to give this to you.
Thank you.
But it's really, if you think about it, it's really, really embarrassing that we have to have this. And it says...
2025.
I know.
Yeah.
So, and it says, as an AAC speaker, I have the right to, and then the right here.
Imagine that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have a right to say no. Or express my emotions. You know, you know, it's terrible. So if we need to have AAC treated like sign language or any language in Norway. Because if we do that, the status will be higher and also the quality will be better. Yeah. Because now we are kind of struggling with linguistics who tells us that, oh, it doesn't fulfill the demands of language. But, you know, it's like a hen and the egg. Do you say that in English? Yeah. So we need to start somewhere, and somebody has to take the responsibility for this. And even though it's complicated, it's tverrfaglig. Yeah.
Cross subjects.
Yeah, cross subjects.
Yeah.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
And the sign language in Norway, they struggled for 10 years. They sat in Språkrådet, language.
Kind of a council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one who actually has the responsibility for the language in Norway.
Yeah.
And they were not accepted because sign language is not spoken, and that was the definition in the law. You have to speak for it to be.
Yeah.
And then they changed the definition of language, and so it was included in the language law. And exactly the same needs to be done with the AAC, but we probably have to change more because it's more complicated. But we have to, and if you do that in 2 years,
As you said, there's a road, and there are some big tasks ahead. It's time to wrap up, but I would like to start with you, Martin. What you want the listener to take home from this conversation?
That communication is about more than words. It's about inclusion, dignity, being able to participate in life on your own terms. AAC might look different from spoken language, but it's still a voice, and that voice matters. So whether you're a teacher, a parent, a policymaker, or just someone curious, I hope you leave this conversation with a little more understanding, a little more compassion, and a renewed commitment to making space for everyone to communicate.
Perfect, thank you. And how about you, Eva?
No, I'm really hoping to spark enthusiasm and understanding, and that people actually care. And I just don't understand why people don't understand that this is the most important task in Norway. It's the most discriminated group we have in Norway today, and we can't live with that, basically. So I just want people to care and to make that change, because it doesn't take much.
Excellent. And a final tip of the day, Martin. You have mentioned your book. Anything else you want to add?
No, not really, but I will send you some links that you can include, like to the TED Talk I gave.
Perfect, thank you. How about you, Eva?
You can be a member of the ISC, or even better, and maybe be a part of one of the groups we have. Yeah, because we have different groups. So just check it out, because we need everybody. We need different people.
Thank you. And with that, I would once again thank you very much for taking the time to join the Corner of Special Education. And I wish you all the best. And also, I hope that tomorrow, which is the last day, will be as good as the two first ones. So thank you very much.
Thank you.